Despite growing international outcry over the war in Gaza, the recognition of a Palestinian state by several Western nations for the first time, and even despite those warnings from Donald Trump against annexing the West Bank, Benjamin Netanyahu was more defiant than ever in his remarks to the UN General Assembly this Friday. Things getting off to quite a dramatic start, with dozens of world leaders theatrically walking out of the assembly to the sound of visibly audible boos and rapturous applause, presumably for those who did decide to walk out. The Israeli Prime Minister still starting his remarks with the expected. He blasted not only Hamas, but also Iran, Hezbollah, militants in Syria and Yemen, and also gloated about Israel's military victories. For more, we are going to cross now to our correspondent in New York, Jessica Le Masurier. Hi, Jessica. So can you take us through those remarks? Then Netanyahu arguably in many ways went even further than he did in the past, especially given this context of international outcry at the situation in Gaza.
Yes, this was Netanyahu, the tough guy on the world stage. He stood there absolutely defiant at the podium, even as there was this mass walkout. He seemed unfazed, and it appeared afterwards that somehow the Israeli delegation had brought in a lot of supporters, because there were rapturous rounds of applause to many of the things that were said by Netanyahu in his speech, especially when he talked about how he's reshaping the Middle East and how he's beaten Hezbollah, he's beaten Iran, and how he is going to make sure that he beats Hamas. He said that we must finish the job. Israel must finish the job in Gaza. So absolutely defiant. What he did not say was how he's going to respond to Trump's 21-point peace plan. But he did go to great pains to flatter Trump repeatedly throughout this speech, presenting him as another tough guy on the world stage, praising the way that Trump responded to Iran, the bombing of Iran, and praising the way that Trump is dealing with what he called anti-Semitism in the United States, thanking him. Those who he did not thank were those world states who have recognized a Palestinian state. And he sort of portrayed them as hypocritical, saying, well, they're doing this publicly, but then behind closed doors, they're thanking us. They're thanking us for protecting the world against these, what he called barbarians. And so he had some very harsh comments for those world powers, saying that, you know, when they always come to Israel when they want great intelligence, they don't understand how our intelligence services managed to do the job of, at one point, he said, 5 CIAs or something like that. He also talked about the two-state solution, because that's obviously been a huge topic here at the United Nations this week. And he started by saying, we don't oppose a two-state solution. They oppose it, meaning the Palestinians. And he berated the Palestinians, saying they've had plenty of chances to have a state, but they keep on attacking us, and that's why we can't afford to give them a state. He also was at pains to say, well, it's not just me. I'm not the only one against a two-state solution. It's almost the entirety of the Israeli government. So he was very forceful on that. He praised on the Abraham Accords and said, again, you know, he's planning to reshape the Middle East. This is the process that is underway. He also talked about allegations of genocide. He said, this is not, we're not committing a genocide. This is completely false. And that Israel has gone to great lengths to protect the civilian population. But we know here at the United Nations that that's just simply not true, because there have been independent studies that really show that that's not the case, that so many civilians have been killed in Gaza, and that much more could have been done to protect them.
It's worth mentioning, Jessica, that just moments ago, President Donald Trump said that he is close to obtaining a deal to end the war in Gaza and to bringing the hostages home. That reporting coming in as Benjamin Netanyahu was finishing up his remarks. We'll, of course, bring more on that as it comes in. In the meantime, Jessica, the war in Gaza and the humanitarian crisis have undoubtedly dominated the agenda at the General Assembly this year.
Yes, there's been a frenzy of diplomatic activity on Gaza, on the Middle East, here at the UN all week. I'm even hearing about secret meetings in the basement to discuss Trump's peace plan. All sorts of meetings have been going on the sidelines. This 21-point peace plan was presented to Arab and Islamic states earlier on this week on the sidelines of the United Nations. The French-Saudi peace plan was discussed, obviously, on Monday during this two-state solution conference. It's unclear which elements of that plan are going to be included in the president's plan, the Trump plan. But certainly this ongoing diplomatic activity, it will continue. What we have been told, though, by Netanyahu's office is that he doesn't really plan on responding until he's met in person with Trump in D.C. on Monday.
Jessica Le Masurier, our correspondent in New York, thank you very much.